Hey guys, so today I'm going to be telling you how I've been learning Japanese. Now, I know currently I don't reside in Japan. As you guys know, I'm going to teach English in Japan after college. That's been my dream since pretty much middle school, so that's what I'm going to be doing. And, as you also might know, I've been teaching myself Japanese. It's a fun language to learn, it really is. I always have a lot of fun learning it, and whenever I learn a new word, I always tell my sister, like, I learned a new word, like, all excited. Warning though, it doesn't come overnight. It is going to take some work, which is totally fine. I've been teaching myself since high school, and honestly, I am nowhere near fluent. So I still consider myself a beginner, to be honest with you. So, yeah. Let's get started, shall we? This is how I learn Japanese words or phrases. If you guys don't know what the website Memrise is, it is a really good website to learn different, well, words and phrases. For instance, it'll give you a word on Memrise, right? It'll say, for example, it'll say hi, which means yes. Then what it'll do is it tells you what the phrase means, like hi equals yes. Then it'll take you to either a multiple choice thing where you're timed, I believe 45 seconds to a minute, don't quote me on that, but you are timed, and you have to type it in using, well, you can either use a Japanese keyboard, which is what I do, or you can use or you can type in HAI, depending on what they want from you. So they give you 4 choices. For example, they could be like, what is yes? You can either pick hi, iya, inu, or neko. You know what I mean? So then you obviously pick hi, and it'll be green for good or red for bad. It'll also give you audio choices, which is good. Like, if you hear the audio, you type in what, like, if you hear the audio for hi, be like, oh, yes, it's the answer. So there we go. Yeah. It's a really good site though. It teaches you phrases, words. It even teaches you hiragana, katakana, and kanji. And it also teaches you sometimes audio. It depends what lesson you pick. Sometimes audio. I prefer the ones with audio because I have to hear it to, like, for it to click. Like, I can read hiragana, but I need to hear it to click, if that makes sense. And it ranges from beginner all the way to advanced. It ranges from all the way to N5 to N1, which is the hardest. So there's that. It's really good though. Highly recommend that site. I know someone recommended that site to me, and I've been using it ever since. It is such a good website. Next thing I like to do is watch YouTube videos, because that's pretty much a free platform unless you have YouTube Red. My favorite ones that I watch are JapaneseIRL. It's a really cool channel because it teaches you words that Jenny has heard in real life. So yeah, it's a really good channel. And it always teaches me something new every Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. So it's a really good channel. Highly recommend it. But she does have a bunch of videos, and it's really easy to understand as well. Like, she makes it really easy to understand the word and phrase. It's really good. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. And then the next one I use is Japanese Pod 101. It's a YouTube channel that teaches you pretty much the same thing, but it also has stuff to learn listening skills as well as just basic stuff. It's really good. It's really good. I suck at explaining things, but I swear I use the site. They teach you listening skills. They teach you top 10 phrases to use in a certain situation. It's a lot of fun. Like, I'm always watching those 2 channels the most. Definitely go check them out. And I also watch a bunch of J-bloggers, because a lot of times they'll tell you what a word is in a video. Like, they'll give you a mini lesson or something. Like, they'll just be like, oh yeah, I always use this word and this means this, or something like that. My favorite J-bloggers include, but not limited to, because I watch a lot of J-bloggers, Give Me a Flake Man, Charlotte in Japan, Rachel in June, and Jenny Silver. Those are my top 4 favorites that you guys should check out. They're really good. And Jenny Silver is actually the one that does Japanese IRL, so there's that. J-dramas help you out a lot too, because you can pick up on words that you may already know, or you may not already know. If you hear a word that you don't know, you can do what I do. I write it down, and then after the show, I look at all the words that I wrote down, and I looked them up individually, and then I put like this equals to this word and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's hard to explain. Hard to explain. But, like for instance, if I hear the word non-dial, and I don't know what it means for some reason. If I don't know what it means, I'll just write it down, and I will look it up afterwards and be like, oh, non-dial is what? So that's what I do. It helps me a lot. It helps me pick up on words. It also helps me with my listening skills, which is amazing since I don't actually live in Japan. I can work on it just by watching J-dramas. And also, Japanese music helps as well. One more thing about J-dramas though. If you guys want to know my recommendations for J-dramas, I actually made a video on my top 5 J-dramas that I love, and I will link that in the description below if you guys want any recommendations on what you guys should start watching. But I highly recommend you watch The Queen's Classroom first. That is my all-time favorite J-drama of all time, and I've rewatched it like 5 times, and I actually really want to watch it for again, so yeah. Another thing that helps me is Japanese music. Hear me out. You can also pick up on words in music. It is a great tool because it's kind of like J-drama. If you hear a word, you can write it down and be like, oh, this means this, and since it's like a musical tune type of thing, pick up on it. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. For example, I can now, and it also helps me like, I guess, translate a little bit of songs. Like, oh, cool, I can now translate a song. For example, I can now translate to a certain extent the last song by Gak, and I'm actually really proud of myself for doing that because, yeah, it's like my favorite song though. But you can pick up on words on music as well, and I highly recommend it, and you can even sing along to it. And if you know the song, you can look up different words in the song, and it's such a good tool. Such a good tool to use. If you guys want to know my favorite Japanese bands or singers, I will make a post about it on my website after this video, so be on the lookout for that. It'll go up probably next week. Probably sooner. There'll be some filming this a week in advance. So now, to learn about hiragana, katakana, and kanji, how do you learn that? Well, there is a fun way that I do. One, this is how I learned how to write hiragana, katakana, and kanji, which I really need to redo to refresh myself, and I haven't written it in about a year, which is really bad. But what I do is I write them down over and over and over again. That is the only way you're going to learn how to read it and write it. I promise you. There is really no fun way to learn the basics of hiragana, katakana, and kanji. You do not write it down and just engrave it in your memory. Oh my gosh, there is really no way to do that. That's what I did to learn it. And also, now how do you remember it? Now, how do you remember it? Well, how I remember it is when I first learned how to read and write hiragana, katakana, and kanji, I went online and used flashcards. Online flashcards, and they are so cool because basically it's basically what you think. You see the character for A. You see the symbol, you click on it, yay, it tells you if you read or not. And it times you as well, so it helps you remember, because if you're timed, you're obviously gonna be like, oh my gosh, I need to think of it quick. It's such a good tool though, such a good tool. Like, I swear you guys are lucky, because when I was like in 8th grade and stuff, I never even thought of going online to look up stuff because I didn't have a computer or anything. But flashcards are a great tool as well. Another great thing to do is if you see a word, just write it in hiragana. That's what I did. Like if you see the word inu, for instance. Okay, you have the character for E, which is I, and then nu, which is NU, obviously. And then I just wrote it like you would think, just in hiragana. And then I ended up learning the kanji for that as well, which the kanji will be right somewhere on the screen. So there's that. Such a great tool though. I know I keep saying that for everything, but it helps, okay? It helps a lot. Flashcards and writing down mostly. Another thing I am obsessed with to help me remember is probably the funnest thing to do. It's probably the funnest thing to do. I go on websites. Hear me out. Hear me out. I go on both Yahoo Japan, which is great for advanced people, which I am not, so I don't even know why I do it, but it does help me because I always hate the hiragana because I am still really bad at kanji. I am so bad at kanji. But I do use Japanese websites like Yahoo Japan or my favorite, Ameba. Oh my gosh, if you guys don't know what Ameba is, it is the cutest site in the world, and everything's obviously in Japanese because it's a Japanese website, and it's so cute. I made my own character, and you get to go to different places in the thing. They have mini games. Oh my gosh, and it teaches you Japanese, like when it doesn't feel like you're learning it, you know what I mean? You just see the words and you're like, oh my gosh, this, I can read the hiragana, and then you just look it up on Google or something, and then it'll just help you tremendously. And that's basically the only one of the funnest ways I have learned how to read Japanese is going on Ameba. And they also have a blog section, which I try to do, but I suck at keeping up with blogs and websites and stuff. You guys have not noticed my website. But what you can do is write a blog post in English or Japanese and then translate it to English or Japanese, like, you know what I mean? And that way, like, just basic stuff like, hi, my name is blank, and then you translate that to Japanese and stuff. It helps you remember, and I'm pretty sure people will help you out if you say something, mispronounce something or something, I don't know. Langate is also a good one. That's pretty much a blog website thing where you write blog entries and then people correct your Japanese. I personally do not use it, but I heard great reviews about it. I just don't do that because I'm actually not really confident in my Japanese, so I'm always like afraid. But that's just me though. I usually just practice in private and secret and stuff. So yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do when I move to Japan though, because I am. Every time someone tells me to speak in Japanese, I always freak out. So yeah, it's pretty bad. And I'm also not gonna lie, Ameba is probably my favorite website. So it's a fun site though. It is a fun site. Another thing I do is I go to Twitter and I change the location settings to Tokyo, Japan. That way I still get hiragana, katakana, and kanji in my everyday life when I forget to study. And one time I felt accomplished because I actually read a whole phrase by myself, and it was a news story, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I read a news story by myself. And I was so happy. I felt like a child freaking out that I could read. So great way to do it. And then last but not least, do not be afraid to ask questions, okay? Like for instance, if you look up a word and you can't find the correct translation, or you find more than one or something like that, don't be afraid to ask someone, hey, you know what this accurate translation is? I can't seem to find it and stuff. But please do your research first, because I'm sure if you want to ask a J-vlogger or something, they probably get a lot of requests. So please do your research first, but then if you can't find it, I'm sure they won't mind you asking them, hey, do you know what this translation is or something? That's what I did. I asked my friend, because I kept on hearing the word yapari, and I was like, I don't know what that is. And I looked it up, and I could never find it. So I finally asked my friend. I was like, hey, you know what this is? And she was like, yeah, it's this. And I was like, oh, cool, thank you. And so a lot of times people are really nice about it. So yeah, it's okay. And then if you have any questions to ask me, like if you're learning Japanese and you want to, and if you don't know a word, just ask me and I'll try my best to help you out. Like I said, I don't consider myself fluent or advanced. I still consider myself a beginner, and I've been learning since high school, so it's a long process. It'll probably be a lot easier though once I move to Japan, that way, because I'm going to be like immersed in with the language, you know what I mean? And yeah, I just decided to do this video because I know a lot of my subscribers are actually interested in the culture or learning Japanese, which is fine. And if you're a J-vlogger watching this that knows Japanese, if I missed anything, please leave that in the comments below for my subscribers can read it and check it out, because yeah, I don't know if I missed anything. So yeah, if I did miss anything, if you have any other tips, please leave in the comments below. Let my subscribers know so they can check it out. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this week's video. If you guys have any recommendations, please also leave them in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe. It's free, and you get to see more videos like this. If you guys want to also see more videos like this, like maybe top 10 J dramas part 2 or something, leave that in the comments below, or top 10 just top 10 or something, I don't know. Just leave that in the comments below and I will be sure to do it. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week with a brand new video. Please don't forget to check out my vlog channel, gaming channel, on all my social media sites. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week with a brand new video. Bye!